Saj, would you, in the current climate with Brexit happening and with all the hysteria around maybe prices are going to drop, where do you see the next 6-12 months in the property sector? What do you see happening?
I wish I had a crystal ball. The reality is, there is so much change that happens in the market all the time.
Yes.
The market is constantly evolving, and one thing I learned in property quite early was the only certainty is constant change.
Yes.
There is no certainty, it just moves all the time, and you have to keep up with that. And this is where, just like as we're talking about now, often within our community, you know, you hear about things in the news, a landlord just being prosecuted, someone didn't have a HMO license properly, you know, there's been a massive tax issue, there's been some fraud in property. It's so sad when it's mostly people in the Asian community that you see and you read the names. And
do you think that that's because of lack of education?
I think a lot of it is. I think a lot of it is a lack of education and a lack of understanding, and not treating it as a property business. But when you treat things as a business, for example, if you're a shop, let's say you're just running a corner shop, a little grocery shop or whatever it might be, if you see customers coming in asking for certain things, you start stocking those things because you see that. So it might be hand sanitizers right now if you can get your hands on them. Because you see the change, right? And if people start coming in asking for a certain thing and don't ask for other thing, but you continue to not stock that item and stock the one they're not asking for, you're asking for a disaster.
Yes.
In the same way, we don't use that same market research in understanding our business. So if we've got properties in a certain area, so a lot of what I do tends to be professional quality HMOs, and lots of people are involved in the HMO sector. So if I give an example, many people years ago bought properties to set up as HMOs to give them to companies that were running asylum seeker contracts, because there was a lucrative business at that time. And when that market changed, i.e. those contracts disappeared, a lot of these houses need to be repurposed, but the landlords are at a loss. What do I do? And you see the same thing in the student market right now. They've got very poor quality accommodation from years and years ago that could have worked, but today it doesn't work. But they don't adapt and they don't change. By not changing, it means you're going to struggle and you're going to get your fingers burnt as the market changes. So your short answer to your question about what's going to happen in the next few months is, firstly, I don't know. Secondly, I know there'll be opportunities. And thirdly, I'll be ready.
So we've had Brexit.
Yes.
Now we have this new coronavirus. Do you think this is going to have an impact on the properties?
It could do, absolutely it could do. I've no idea where it's going to go, and you just hear about what's happening with Italy, and part of it being kind of completely on lockdown right now. You can't move around. So theoretically it could have a massive impact. But then again, you know, all it takes is Donald Trump to do a crazy tweet, and that could have an impact.
Yes.
You know, it could be a change in the interest rates, and that could have an impact. You know, there's so many little things that could happen that could have a huge impact, which you have no control over. But if you're running businesses, you just need to be ready to adapt and be able to change and be open to changes.